Hi everyone, it's Fiona back again with part 2 of our homework for the Redemption Arc Detectives. And in this part of the homework, we are beginning a case study. And as all teachers know, we should start on something that is simple so we can practice the techniques. And yet I'm going to do the opposite of that. So I've got for us a case study from one of the members in the group, and it is relatively complex, but the calling that I have that this is the chart to start on is very strong. So here we are going to dive into the experience of being detectives. So in the document that I have got for you, I have outlined the chart. It's at the top here. And I have copied from Carla the aspects of the planets. And what I want you to do is go through this Case Study 1 chart using the Lajjatadiyavashta table to calculate what Lajjatadiyavashtas are going on in our first case study. So that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to write down here your answers to that question. And as you can see, because planets are going through lots of things, you'll need to say it's delighted, it's agitated by this, it's shamed by that. So it's a sentence that might have 2 or 3 or 4 different Lajjatadiyavashtas in it. So each sentence reflects what's going on for the moon, Sun, Mars, Mercury, all of the planets that are in this case study. And having identified the Lajjatadiyavashtas that are in this case study, I want to invite you to begin to think about what do we want to investigate in this case study. And this is why the group is called Detectives, in that want you to imagine that we are each detectives arriving to the scene of an incident. And in some ways, that's what a birth chart is, or what an astrological chart is. It's a moment in time. So just like detectives would arrive at an incident or a crime scene or whatever it is, they are there to assess what is going on, to gather the facts and begin their investigation, which might take quite some time. So this is just step 1. And when we are a detective, we want to make sure that we tread very lightly on this incident scene or this crime scene. We want to take off the heavy work boots. We don't want to be traipsing in any extraneous material into this incident scene. So we don't want to bring in dirt or footprints from the outside. And I think this is our invitation as astrologers to think about how lightly we want to tread when we are entering into somebody's chart. So as you prepare for researching, investigating, analyzing this chart, I'm inviting you in the document to begin thinking about what kind of questions are you interested in finding out. And just jot them down here. It's a draft. It's for you. It's where you can begin to take your notes. And these questions we've talked about, you want to take off your outdoor shoes and maybe even you put on those kind of cloth things that they walk around a particular scene in, because you don't want to leave your own DNA at this incident scene. Otherwise, it's going to get mixed up. And as astrologers, we don't want to leave our own judgments, our own preconceived ideas. We don't want those to get all mixed up in the discovery of what is the experience of this chart. We want to think about how we can tread lightly, leaving as little footprint, as little impact on this incident scene as is possible. And yet, how can we still gain useful information that will aid us in our research? And that is why we are the Redemption Arc Detectives, because this first phase is honing our skills on asking questions that allow the person to share what their experience is, but does not cause any damage. These questions don't cause any damage, and they don't leave behind any DNA or any impact, any shadow on the scene that we're looking at. So that is what our second piece of Redemption Arc Detective homework is all about. It's a chance to practice using our Lajatati Vashta table. So we're really freeing ourselves from astrology software here. We're going to go out on our own and see if we can calculate the Lajatati Vashtas for a chart, in this case study 1. And then with that information, we're going to begin drafting what we're interested in. What do we want to know about? What do we think might be going on? And you might like to look at The Art and Science of Vedic Astrology, Volume 2. You might like to look at Ernst Lajatati course if you happen to have access to his courses. Or I've got a video, I'll link it for you, that's all about investigating the Shame Devashta. And it's one of my first videos I ever made. It's 4 or something years old. It's a bit scratchy around the edges, and it's got a PDF to use if you'd like to. So everybody's going to progress with this homework a little bit at different paces because we're all in different places with our astrology knowledge. So some people are going to fly through and get to the juicy bit that they want to talk about relatively quickly. And for others, it's a real discovery of step by step, what Lajatati Vashtas are even here. What do I think that I want to know more about? How might I ask those questions? So if you feel that you've raced along through and you want some more resources, use the video and I'll send you along the PDF form for using it if you want to as well. But don't feel pressured or rushed that you have to complete everything before we get together on the 3rd and or the 5th. Just make a start as you can. And we might do it together in class when we meet. We might just go through it depending on where everybody's up to. So it'll be very useful. Whatever progress you make will be very useful because it will allow us to have the questions that we need when we get together. It will allow us, even if those questions are, how is this a Shame Devashta, or how is this causing agitation? Is it starvation or is it agitation? Whatever questions you have will be great to help us focus when we get together. So that is the second part of the homework. And just reach out to me through Patreon or email if you have any questions or doubts. All right, looking forward to seeing you soon. Bye, everyone.